Hi there, welcome. My name is Makayla, and in today's video, we are covering what to do when you feel lost and the hidden inner resource that each and every one of us has. I'm so excited about this. Okay, so we're going to cover, like by the end of this video, my aim is for you to come away with greater understanding of yourself, greater compassion for yourself, and more tools and resources that can empower you in your life. That's always my goal. Now, specifically in this video, we're going to be covering the deeper reason why we can feel lost, as well as how the things we tend to do when we feel lost aren't always that helpful, as well as, and this is where we'll spend the majority of our time, what to do instead, this inner hidden resource that each of us has. And I'm going to be introducing you to a tool that is just like one of my all-time favorite things. I've used it with all my clients. I use it all the time. Like, get ready. Now, if you are resonating with this content, oh, and it ties into parts work. So if you like that, internal family systems, it connects with that. If this content is resonating throughout and you're like, yes, 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 please continue to listen and stick around till the end, because I'm going to share a really practical, simple way to connect with this tool. And I'll also share with you ways that you can engage even deeper with this work. So if you want to do it deeper with me or in other capacities, I'll share tools to like go deeper. Okay. So with that said, let's dig in. So let's set the scene, right? You're feeling lost. So often, and I'll speak from personal experience here, when I'm feeling lost, my mind goes into hyper speed. It wants to figure it out. It wants certainty. It wants a plan. It wants somebody to tell me what to do. Just like I need to know. I feel lost. I don't know what I'm doing, whatever it is, right? There can be a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. My nervous system is shifting out of a calmer, more regulated space, right? And that means different parts of my brain are online, different parts are not online. It's a bit of a storm. And so, one thing that I want to bring to this space, right? This scene that may be happening for you right now if you're watching this video, maybe it might happen to you in the future, is just to bring a breath and some compassion. It is totally normal that you would feel that intense need to figure it out when you feel lost, because there are parts of you that feel like it's a threat to not know where you're going, what you're doing. To feel this lost feeling can feel very threatening. And so these parts that kick in to try to figure it out, to try to find some form of certainty, even though that often can create more of a storm, their intention is to keep you safe. Their intention is to help. And what I love about thinking of it that way is that it can help us feel more warmth and compassion for these parts of ourselves, right? Like, that desire to figure it out is probably part of what led you to this video. And maybe even in these first few minutes, you're starting to just feel like you can relax a little bit more. Maybe you're like, cut to the chase, Makayla, right? I don't know. I don't know what you're experiencing, but these parts are here to help us. What I find, and what I found in the people I've worked with too over the years, is that trying to focus so much on the external, gathering all the information, even the guidance, the just somebody tell me what to do, all those different parts, that so often leads to greater feelings of being lost, because it's like you're getting more and more and more and more and more and more and more outside of yourself. And what actually is helpful is to change who you're relating to, and to change it from this external focus to this more internal focus. But here's where it has to, this is where we need this tool that I'm going to introduce you all to, because so often, for so many of us, when we go inside, there are not necessarily the friendliest, most encouraging and supportive friends in there, right? There can be a lot of loud voices that are hypercritical, hyper doubtful, you name it. And so this inner critic space, if we try to go inside, it can get a little scary. So instead, we need to change who we're relating to internally. Ultimately, feeling lost is a form of being disconnected from our sense of inner leadership, that inner part of us that is strong and steady and has a vision, has a sense of strength and resilience and trust, even. And this is where the future self, this is the concept I'm introducing you all to today. This future self is what can reframe that dynamic. So rather than having to look out here or go in here and just hear the scary voices, there's this other voice, this other presence that we can connect with that is so profoundly helpful. And part of why it's so helpful is because it shifts our nervous system state. And this is something that I've, once again, noticed in myself, noticed in my clients, is that it's almost like going from being in this like high pitch, trying to figure it out, right? Anxiety, or even the like super low level of like kind of hopelessness, despair, doubt. And it's this, it can bring that energy. If it's low, it can bring it up. If it's super high, it can bring it down to this really healthy mid-level energy of clarity, groundedness, grit, as well as creativity and vision and all the things. And so the first way that I was introduced to the topic of the future self was through Tara Moore. She wrote a book called Playing Big that I highly recommend to all of you. I should probably do a book review of it sometime because I just love it so much. And yeah, it's so profound. So she talks about the future self as an inner mentor. And she brings it up in the book in the context of how to relate to your inner critic. Because she's like, listen, we all have this inner critic. Everybody has it, basically. I think it's everybody. And rather than just trying to get rid of it, we actually need another voice to relate to. We need an inner mentor instead of just an inner critic. And this inner mentor can become the voice that we turn the volume up on. It can become the louder voice and the energy that we're relating to more and more in our lives. And so I believe she was introduced to that concept by like the Coaches Institute or something. I'll link that below and make sure we give credit where it's due. And she had an experience with this in one of her trainings. And then she went on to share it with all of her clients. And I went on to share it with all my clients. This is so great. And so basically, then as years went on, like years, maybe a decade went on from when I first learned about that to then when I started to learn about internal family systems and parts work. And I have them on a sticky note because I frequently forget. There's this concept in parts work that there are all these different parts of us, right? There's the protector parts, the firefighters, the exiled parts. And there's also this part that really transcends all the others, and it's the self with a capital S. And the self has 8 descriptive qualities, the 8 C's of the self. So I'm going to read those to you now. The self is calm, connected, creative, curious, compassionate, confident, courageous, and clear. What I've found time and time again when I've connected with my own future self, as well as when clients have done this process, their future self has these qualities. I think without realizing it, and I feel like this is true a lot of times with parts work and other therapies, Tara Moore and that training institute found a way, a very powerful guided practice, and very also like almost built in story, right? The future self has a clear story to it, right? It's me in the future. This is such a powerful way for people to connect with the energy of their inner self, this capital S self, who is clear and calm and compassionate and curious and creative and all those things. And it is so powerful to have a connection with this part of ourselves, whether you do it through parts work and you've found ways to connect with this self energy, or you do it more through these like future self types of experiences. Because when we have a relationship with this part of us, and we all have this, we all have a future self, we all have a self, capital S self. I'm merging those. I'm just going to be referring to it as future self now. We all have that part. And therefore, we all do have this inner wisdom, this inner strength that we can tap into. How cool is that? Like, and if we want to get kind of quantum about it, who knows? Maybe it is that by shifting our perspective in certain ways, we are actually able to connect with a future us that is in the future in time, and she can send us signals and messages and feelings to guide us, right? I don't think time is as linear as it seems. But even if it's just that thinking of our future self, the version of us who's gone through these trials, who's gone through this season and has wisdom to share, even if just that idea gives us more permission to connect with wisdom, to connect with a sense of self-trust, to see ourselves as being victorious on the other side of this challenge, even if that's all that's happening, it's still incredibly valuable. It is still an empowering tool, and that's why I like it. Also, it can be like really fun and whimsical, so I love that too. We're here for the whimsy and the play, always. So, what I'd love to do now is share a way for you all to connect with this concept. We can just do it together here. So, yeah, let's do this. Okay, so think about something that you're relating to right now. Maybe you have a question about a decision on a trip to make, or a certain step you may or may not want to take, or you're just feeling like generally lost and like overwhelmed. Whatever may be going on for you, just kind of tune into that for a moment here and think about what you're dealing with. And then I want you to think about a version of you that is 10 plus years from now. I like that because it's far enough away that we're willing to give her space to be profoundly wise. So 20 years is what the original meditation says. So if that works for you, go for it. But 10 plus. So take a moment to imagine a version of you 10 plus years from now. And I want you to think about the fact, like live and breathe into this fact that she has successfully navigated this season. There she is. She exists. She's living her life. She's alive and well and thriving. And I want you to ask, and it could even be that you're imagining asking her this, but you can ask it also just in a more general way, that you're asking yourself and you're observing what you notice. What has mattered most to her over these 10 plus years? And what matters most to her now? You might get answers in words, but they also might come in less tangible ways. Maybe it's a feeling, a breath, an image, a color. Just notice what comes up. You might be surprised. And take a moment to write down what you noticed. That's it. Now, if you want to take it a little bit further, you can also journal and ask yourself, how can I engage with this thing, this image, this idea, these words that she shared that matter most to her, and carry those with me throughout the coming days, weeks, months, years as a way to connect and stay connected to that future you. Now, that's super brief, right? That was like just kind of a little thought experiment, basically, that we just did. And if you feel like it didn't really connect, like you couldn't really picture your future self, or you didn't feel like your nervous system shifted that much in that process, or yeah, it just didn't have the juice that you know is possible. I know it's possible. Then there's a few ways you can take this deeper. You can buy a copy of Tara Moore's book or pick it up at the library, Playing Big, or it could be even better, honestly, to get the audio version of it, because then you can get to the inner mentor chapter, listen to the guided meditation, and off you go. You'll have that great experience. I highly recommend that book. Can't recommend it enough. And then you get like all of her other juicy tips. Playing Big is such a great book, and she's just like a lovely human. The other way, if you want to take this deeper with me, is I'm going to be doing a workshop on this, and I'll link it all below. So if there's still slots open, and like the next date of the next one I'm doing, it'll all be linked below. So if it's happening, you'll see it down there. But basically, I plan to do a group live virtual workshop of this, where we're all going, I'm going to take you all through the guided meditation of meeting your future self. And I've made a few adjustments to what's in the book that I've found help it go deeper and just like help people really connect with the material more. And then we're going to have some time after the meditation to work with some powerful journal prompts and even creative prompts to take whatever experience we had in the meditation and put it into our own distillation of the information we've gathered, the insights, as well as even the practical action steps we want to take based on that experience. And ultimately, with all of this, it's about developing a relationship with this part of you. And there are so many different ways to do that. Part of what I'm really enjoying about the way that this work is evolving as I have this YouTube channel and have all these different creative ways I'm exploring, supporting people and practicing how they want to feel, how they want to live, is that there are so many fun ways to cultivate a relationship with parts of you that are kind and loving and supportive and encouraging and strong and gritty and like all the things. And it's just such a cool way to experience self-development and self-growth, where it's such a powerful complement really to the deeper work where maybe you're addressing more of the pain and the challenges, to then fill your cup with these practices that allow you to connect with the parts of you that know how loved you are, that know how precious you are, and that have so much love to give and so much energy to give to this life. So good. I just get so excited about it all. I really think that's it. I think we did it. We covered the things we wanted to cover, and I hope that you feel a little less lost after watching this video. And whether you decide to go really deep with the future self concepts, or you decide to go more into parts work and exploring the self, or if you decide you want to work with me more and dig into this, even I do one-on-one sessions, you can check that out. It's on my website. There's so many things that are possible here. But whatever you do, I really want to leave you with this idea that, and what I really believe is a truth, that you have this incredible resource living inside of you right here, right now. You might not feel like you can connect with it, but it is there. And the only reason you may not be able to connect with it is just that your system needs some more soothing. It needs some more support to feel like it's okay to just breathe and pause. And that's where you might want to use other tools like tapping, which I cover a lot on this channel, or havening, which is where you do kind of like these like self hugs. Gorgeous. Look it up. Love it. Havening. Or even just calm breath work, or co-regulating, right? Finding a friend, having a hug, having a tea and chatting about things. But this tool lives with you, right? You are incredibly resourceful, and it's okay to feel lost sometimes. I actually think it's part of a healthy ebb and flow for us as humans, that we get lost and then we gotta find ourselves again. And then we get lost again and we find ourselves again. And it's the remembering can actually be very, very poignant and precious and beautiful and life affirming. Even though the feeling lost can be really painful. I know, I've been there, and I'm sure I'll be there again, honestly. Like, here we are. we're just riding the waves. But I'm with you, and I'm sending you love wherever you may be. Please share this with anybody who you think might benefit, and off we go. Links below. Like and subscribe. You know the deal, but I'm wishing you well. Thank you.